Master Your Mindset Radio, episode 57.
Welcome to Master Your Mindset Radio, the show where we empower you to conquer limiting beliefs and transform your world with your gifting and purpose. Now for your host, Elizabeth Nader.
Hey friends, welcome back to another episode. Happy to have you here as always. I wonder how you listen to my podcast. Is it while you're driving? Is it while you're working, while you're taking a walk, or perhaps while you're enjoying a cup of coffee or tea? Whatever it is, I really appreciate you taking me along. Today, we're going to talk about the importance of having a vision. But before we get into that, I want to remind you to sign up for Mindset Reset 2020. I know some of you have, but the rest of you need to do that soon before the registration closes. MindsetReset2020.com. It is a virtual all-day event, and you will have the recordings for 6 months afterwards. So if you're busy that day, no problem. You still have access to all the teachings from myself and the 3 other amazing coaches who are there to help you break through, who will be there to help you understand how to get past some of those things that are holding you back, understand yourself better so you can build the future that you want for your life. So speaking of that, we're going to talk about vision today. And I teased this yesterday in my private Facebook group, which if you're not a member of, it's free, of course. So go ahead and join that. You'll hear the instructions at the end of the podcast as always. But vision is a very big thing to me, and you're going to hear more about that in the future because I've been doing some amazing work with Rich Keller, who is a coach that focuses on your one word that defines what you do and what you bring to this world. And my one word happens to be visionary. We're going to talk about that a lot more later. We're going to do podcasts on that, and I'm going to explain what that all means. But he's right. Vision is a big thing to me, and vision is a huge part of everything I do and everything that I talk about, even when I don't directly bring it up. I am all about vision. So today I thought I would do a quick podcast on why vision is important for you, for everyone. And what is vision? To me, vision is a clear sense of purpose. It's really about having that direction, that mental picture of the result that you want in your life. Vision is not a vague dream. Vision is not vague wishes. Vision is a clear picture of where you want to be, sometimes tomorrow, sometimes 10 years from now, but it's a vision of where you want to go. And really, in the end, vision is what creates the life we choose to live. We are in charge of what we experience from the standpoint of how we react to those things around us and the way we direct our mind. So if we direct our mind towards building a vision for our life, ultimately that work will create the kind of life that we experience and we choose to live. So vision is extremely important. It should be part of what you do daily, whether you realize it or not. Everything you do should really ultimately be tied to a vision that you have for your life. So why is this so important? Besides the fact that it creates the life you experience, which I think alone right there, we could stop and say that's the most important thing. But let's go through some of the reasons it's really, really important to have a vision for your life. Now, I mentioned yesterday, I'm rereading one of Viktor Frankl's books, and he is a Holocaust survivor, psychoanalyst, intelligent guy who wrote about the meaning of life and why that's important. And he wrote a lot about having vision and knowing that you have a meaning for your life. And he says often that it wasn't the abuse, the violence necessarily, the starvation, the lack of water, the disease that ultimately killed people in concentration camps. It really was losing their hope. That's ultimately what many of them lost that made them eventually give up and die. It was like a spiritual death. He would talk about stories where you could trade cigarettes for things, for food, that when you ever gained cigarettes from doing something for an SS agent, that you would trade them for something better, for water, for food. for something that would help you survive. And he said when he saw a fellow prisoner smoking his own cigarettes, he knew that prisoner had given up. He knew that prisoner had no hope left. So the actual idea that you have some kind of vision, even in the harshest of circumstances, made all the difference just to survive. And he noticed that once someone no longer had even a sliver of vision for their life, that they were giving up and that death was soon coming. He even talked about how he would spend time thinking about his next book, the manuscript he was working on before he was taken to a concentration camp. He would spend time thinking about how he could use this experience in the concentration camps and what he observed about his fellow man to help him be a better psychotherapist, to help him develop a way to have people thrive in their life and deal with suffering. He was thinking about what was going to be for him when he got out. He was focused on what he could do with this difficult situation and what would be for him after it was over. It wasn't just positive thinking. He was actually willing himself to live so he could use all of this for a purpose. He had vision for his life. And even the Bible mentions how important vision is. There's a verse in Proverbs 29:18 that says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." And I think Viktor Frankl would agree with that scripture based on his own experience. Habakkuk 2:2 says, "Write the vision and make it plain so that he who reads it may run with it." So we'll talk about that a little bit later about actually writing the vision. But clearly vision is an important part of the heartbeat of life. It is an important part of how you move forward and experience the life you were designed for. So we know that vision is important, but let's break it down into why. As I've said a few times already, vision gives hope. Vision is a source of hope. And it doesn't matter how big that vision is in the moment, whether that vision is for something for tomorrow or for 10 years from now. It's something that gives you hope. You know, you talk about the elderly, and often people will say that it's good to give them something to look forward to, an event coming up, a visit or something for those who are shut-ins or in difficult health situations and are aged. When they have something to look forward to, it gives them a reason to live. It generates hope for them. Well, that's what a vision does. It gives you strength. It gives you courage to overcome obstacles. When you have vision, you're willing to tackle things that you normally may not find the strength to do because you have a greater end in mind. You can see beyond what's happening today, especially the struggles, because you've painted a bigger vision for yourself. It is a larger picture of your life, of where you're going. Even sometimes it may not be as detailed as you want it to be, but it's something you're still reaching for. It's the bigger picture. It's really something that pulls the puzzle pieces together in life. Your vision puts everything together. It creates that tapestry of why you do what you do. It helps you to define your goals and decisions. Those come from your head, right? The goals and decisions and strategies for your life. But the vision comes from your heart. So you develop a vision in your heart, you know what that is, and then you actually act on it. And it helps you, when you have a vision for your life, it helps you say yes to the right things and no to the wrong things. And this can be as simple as small things people ask you to do that don't fit in with your vision. You know, places to volunteer or time spent with certain activities that maybe aren't part of the vision for your life. It helps you define where the boundaries are. What do you say yes to? What do you say no to? And you'll find yourself saying yes to some things where you give of yourself, but it makes sense because it supports the vision for your life. I can remember many years ago, I was asked by someone in our church to help out with the ministry to children, with the child care ministry. And they said, I think you'd be really great at it, and we would love it if you'd be a part of that, be one of the leaders in that, help develop it more or whatever. And I looked at that person and I said, with all love and respect, and I appreciate that, that doesn't fit my vision. Those aren't my gifts and talents. That's not where I see myself going. And it wasn't really a big commitment. It was a lot of work. And, sometimes we do things and we volunteer, especially when we have children, in areas that aren't only about our vision. But I knew at the time when that was asked of me that it was a big commitment in the way it was presented. And I knew that it was not part of the vision for what I was doing with my life, my gifts, and my talents. So having that vision and knowing who I was really strengthened me to be able to say no to the wrong things and yes to the right things. And I'm sure you have many examples of that. And sometimes when we say yes to the wrong things, we actually pay a price. So any tool we can use to help us know when to say no and when to say yes is extremely valuable. And having a vision can help you with that. Vision inspires you to action. It helps you to know where to focus your energies. Kind of what I just said now. What do I say yes to? What do I say no to? It allows you to wake up in the morning and know where you need to put your effort. And the thing that's interesting about having a vision, because we can change our vision and we can alter it and it grows and it ebbs and flows with life, is that in the good times, when you're on the height of the mountaintop, that vision really should be big enough to scare you. When you're in a great place in life, and we all go through this, right? Valleys and mountains, mountain peaks, good times and bad times. When you're on the top of that mountain, when things are really humming for you, your vision really should be something that almost scares you, right? Something so big that you want to reach for because you're in a place where you feel expansive. But then there are those times in your life, and we all have those, where we are in the valley. We are in a difficult place for any number of reasons. We still need vision. In fact, it's incredibly crucial that we have vision to help us out of the valleys. And sometimes when you're in the valley, that vision can be just enough and small enough to get you to the next day, to get you just to take the next step, just enough to get you out of bed in the morning. But it's vision, it's still hope. So it doesn't always have to be grandiose and large. Sometimes it needs to be small and actionable, just because of where you are in life. And the Bible also says, do not despise small beginnings. And really that talks about having just sometimes a smaller vision to get you through where you are in that particular time of your life. As I said before, it comes from your heart. It's a heart connection, the vision for your life, because it's really a connection to who created you. It's really about why were you created. It's not an exercise that you do intellectually. It's about that connection with your creator from your heart. It's about getting in touch with why you were created and what you are supposed to do on this earth and what your unique gifts and talents are to do that. So it comes from the heart. And as I said before, you translate it then into action items. You translate it into goals, objectives, but it starts first in your heart. Vision, again, is the thing that allows us to push through in life when we have challenges, when we have obstacles, when we have things that we feel like we can't overcome, when surprises come at us that we didn't expect, tragedies, setbacks. Vision is the thing that takes us to the other side of those challenges. Having a vision, having hope, which is why it's definitely something that we have in connection to our Creator, because we were all created on purpose for a purpose, and that's what gives life meaning. You weren't born to do everything. You just weren't. So what is that specific thing? What is it? You're still breathing, you're still here. There's something that you're meant to do. You need to take the time to figure out what it is. You need to write it down. You need to explore it with people who love you. You need to explore it in prayer and meditation. and spend the time to discover it. And also be willing to let it continue to grow and morph and change as you grow and change. Because vision has a tendency to do that. It should be a living, breathing thing. You write it down, you look at it every day, you change it as you need to, but it gives you the guideposts and the plan to live the life you were meant to live. And be patient. Be patient with it. All of us need to learn more patience. We want to rush it. We want it all to manifest right now. I know I feel that way. I know that we all struggle with that, with patience, but God knows the timing. He knows when it should manifest and how. And really, our approach should be slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Slow and steady walks of faith, steps of faith towards that goal. Being willing to change as you need to, open to new things, but always having a vision for your life. That's ultimately what makes all the difference and what allows you to get past those challenges and to be able to make a difference in the world around you. You must have a vision. We will talk about that a lot more in the future. So guys, have a vision, write it down, do the work, as I always say. Have a great week, and we'll see you online.
Thank you for listening to Master Your Mindset Radio. Before you go, if you want to be part of a free online community of like-minded individuals for support, resources, and inspiration as you conquer your limiting beliefs and pursue your purpose, go to elizabethnader.com/community. That's elizabethnader.com/community, or search for Master Your Mindset Academy private group on Facebook. Looking forward to seeing you online.